A socialist, a scandal hit ex governor, and a city divided. Now, Zohran Mamdani, who has emerged as a main contender of the mayoral elections in New York City, is facing a lot of battles such as Islamophobia and criticism about his work as a politician before. So, let us try to understand in this video what kind of challenges is facing right now and to what extent these challenges will mar his probability of becoming the next mayor of New York City, or what are the things that are playing in his favor. So first of all, to give you the background of this particular incident or this particular overall event, we can say is that New York City is going to hold its next mayoral race in year 2025. And here, in the early days, Democratic Party fielded two of its candidates, and in the primary election, Zohran Mamdani emerged as a winner by beating Andrew Cuomo. Now, Andrew Cuomo obviously cannot be contesting elections from the Democratic Party. And that is why he had decided to contest election as an independent candidate. At the same time, the outgoing mayor, who is Eric Adams, he has also provided his support to Andrew Cuomo here. Now, in this entire context, we can see some extent of political polarization where on one side you have the progressive parties, progressive candidates such as Mamdani, and on the other side you have the centrist candidate. For example, these can be considered as the both. We talk about the Andrew Cuomo and also Eric Adams. Now, in this context, look at the key personalities here. We are talking about Zohran Mamdani, who has emerged as a front runner in the mayoral elections, and it has also caused a lot of furor across many of the Democratic Party as well as many of the members of the Republican Party. In this context, we have to understand that Zohran Mamdani has been elected as a state assembly member, and he won elections from Astoria, Queens, and also he became first Muslim with viable mayoral candidacy as far as the New York City is concerned. Also, his focus area is to ensure that there is affordable housing available for all the people in New York City. He also has talked about social equity, climate justice and all. And overall, his image has been portrayed as an anti-establishment. Now, also we have to understand that in the case of Andrew Cuomo, he resigned in year 2021 from the post of governorship after his entire tenure was marred with sex scandal. Now, post primary, as we have discussed, he is trying to again run election as an independent candidate, and he also has severely criticized Mamdani. However, many of the media houses have also said that such remark from a former governor is nothing but an example of Islamophobia. The overall strategy how Andrew Cuomo won to win this election is by creating a sense of panic and fear among the citizens of New York City, where he wanted to portray Mamdani as a Muslim who might even rejoice if there is some kind of, who might even cheer if there is some kind of incident like 9/11 that has happened earlier. He also has tried to mobilize all the supporters of the centrist ideas, and he overall aligns with the current governor, that is Eric Adams. Now, also his statement that he gave during one of the talk show that is called as Sid and Friends with the Sid Rosenberg, in that he clearly has stated that if Mamdani is a governor and if 9/11 like incident is repeated again, he might even rejoice and also can share it. So this is something that has drawn a severe media backlash. Even civil rights group has strongly reacted it, and also basically the media and Mamdani itself has portrayed this as an issue of Islamophobia. Also, Andrew Cuomo is stated to is believed to have having an anti-Muslim, anti-Islamic view, and thus also Mamdani has tried to draw more crowd toward him by saying that in New York City, where everyone of its resident is Muslim, such kind of remarks obviously cannot be tolerated. Now, overall, we also are seeing a kind of progressive versus conservative framing in the entire election scenario, and rise of identity politics and debate around it also is gaining traction here. Now, interestingly, earlier Adams has criticized Cuomo as well, calling even him as a kind of a snake. But now he's saying that because now the fight is against family, and that is why brothers have to join hands together. And in one way, he has said that Cuomo is his brother. So Adam has endorsed Cuomo on October 23. Mutual Attack is rebranded as Brotherhood, and overall, both of these have targeted socialism and left progressivism, and that is what Zohran Mamdani represents. So overall, we can see a kind of also Trumpist ideology that is taking center stage here, where the Trump's idea is being, or ideology is to some extent being represented by Adams Cuomo alliance. Overall, they also have tried to create a sense of panic and fear by creating existential threat narrative, where they have said that if Zohran Mamdani indeed becomes a mayor of New York City, there will be kind of existential threat to the entire city as such. Overall, Mamdani has again attacked them by saying that the entire administration of both Cuomo as well as Adams is nothing but marred with corruption, and there is a degree of extent of elite alignment. Mamdani has responded also by saying that these sentiments are vile and Islamophobic, and he has framed a position as establishment versus people as such. He also has highlighted corruption and also have talked about the influence of donors, especially those donors who are aligned with the Trump's idea. Now, overall, it also aligned with his grassroots movement. He tried to talk with people, he tried to go in the public, try to connect with the masses, and in that way, he has been successfully able to mobilize youth, especially Muslim youth voters from the New York City as such. However, his campaign also has faced severe challenges, and that is why, if we talk about the poll rating, if we talk about from different media houses, it has kept on fluctuating. The biggest criticism that Mamdani faces is because of his limited legislative record. For example, Andrew Cuomo has stated that during his tenure as a politician, as a representative in a state assembly, he has been able to just pass 4 bills in 5 years, and he has missed many of the assembly votes during campaign. That means it shows his non-seriousness as a political candidate. Also, his administrative experience is something over which question is being raised continuously, and the focus has been on messaging and performance of debate as well. On the other hand, many things are working in the favor of Zohran Mamdani. For example, his progressive ideology is resonating with the citizens of New York, who are in the recent times have faced a problem related to inflation, uncontrolled inflation, rising prices of houses, and rising prices of essential commodities. In this context, Mamdani has ensured them that if he wins mayoral election, he will ensure that there is an affordable housing policy for all the residents. He will also take action based on the climate change or related to climate change. He has promised green jobs for many of the residents, and has basically vowed to fight for social justice and inclusion, and it is through this he is trying to also garner votes of minorities, for example African Americans as well as Muslim minorities. Police accountability is something that also he has said that he will question and ensure that police is accountable to all the residents of New York, all the citizens of New York, and labor rights and wage quality is something that he has made a central idea of his entire election, and this is something that he has promised that he will work upon once he wins the election. And that is why in the recent times we have seen he's taking a lead in the poll. For example, you talk about the CBS News poll that derives data from YouGov poll. You can see that 43% of the 43% of the electors, they have preferred Mamdani. Cuomo is at second position with 28%, 15% is Sliwa, and 6% is Adams. Again, if we talk about the other poll from the Siena College Research Institute, we can see again here Mamdani is taking lead at 44%, Cuomo is 25%. So there is not only that Mamdani has emerged as a front runner, but also you can see the difference between the first and second position is enormous here. Obviously in election this difference makes a lot of, or this kind of difference makes a lot of effect as such. So to some extent we can say that it indeed seems that Zohran Mamdani can emerge as the first Muslim mayor of New York City. That is all about this particular video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with all aspirants, and subscribe channel for more such content. Thank you very much.